guys and dolls. Freedom Dad here, and it is midweek walk and talk, and just out with Tulip and young Bailey, and it is still very, very cold, as you can imagine. And if I don't know if you can just catch the sunset in the background going down there. So yeah, still early, you know what I mean? It's 3 o'clock or something like that. But no, I was just wanting to get a wee chat today about what's going on. Obviously, I was wanting to get a wee rundown, just the way I can see it in my head, to try and make some sense of it all. I think it's time to take a wee breath and find out exactly what's happened, and try and work out where it's going to go, you know. So I think we should start. Where should we start? There's no point going back to Southport, because we all know that, right? Everybody, we're well versed in that. So I think it basically all started when another grooming gang trial came to closure, and what happened was mainstream media never really touched it. Politicians weren't mentioning it. The only people who were talking about it was a few, is that somebody coming? A few big social media sites here and there. And I think when Elon Musk has seen this, and Donald Trump has seen this, and most adults in the world actually seen this, they were outraged. Because you got to understand, everybody had heard of the grooming gangs, but because it was Tommy Robinson saying it, and because of the way the government were treating Tommy Robinson, then a lot of people did think that, you know, Tommy Robinson was lying or something, or Tommy Robinson was exaggerating, or Tommy Robinson was making it all up just because he was a racist and didn't like Muslims. You know, I think a lot of people actually believed that, and I think when Elon Musk actually pointed out a few things, I think a lot of people in America got really, really angry that the British government, the British media, and along with the American far left and left media had betrayed Tommy and everything he'd been doing for the children over the last 20 odd years. You know, they couldn't believe that he was silenced who he was. So I think with that on Elon, because I'm telling you, I'm trying to let you understand exactly where Elon's head was. So the people around Elon Musk, and I mean famous people, not famous people, and people on the street, all in unison were going, you know, what's going on? You got more grooming gangs. Tommy Robinson was right. The government were silencing him. They made him out to be a racist when he wasn't. And they've locked him up in jail. So everybody's jumped on the film Silence. They've done a wee bit of research and they've went, oh my God. Yeah, I know it's mental. I know I'm breaking this down. For us, it's mental, but this is how it's went. I'm telling you guys. So, with that sort of outrage and support from all around Elon, he called Starmer out, you know. And, you know, Starmer was bought deep in it. No two ways about it. And I don't think Elon Musk actually knew that at the time. But I think the reaction that Starmer came back with made everybody that's in power or has a bit of sense about politics sit back and do a wee bit of research, you know. So then a lot of things have come out that you don't know about, that I don't completely know about, but I know a wee bit about. And there's no way in hell I'm going to say it. And there's no way in hell anybody with money is going to say it. But it needs to come out officially. We need inquiries, you see? You understand, guys? So here we've got a situation where a man is fighting for not just his career, but probably his freedom. And there's a lot of men around him, and a lot of women around him will be fighting for their freedom if justice was allowed to prevail. If the feelings of the government and social work and everything was to come out, the WhatsApp group messages, you know, if they were all to come out of exactly the instructions that were being passed about, and the language these people were using about our young girls on the street, then I think there definitely would be convictions, okay? So with all that in mind, right, and you got to remember this as well, these people are in power now. These people have managed to get into power, and it's an absolute travesty. And everybody knows it's an absolute travesty. I know it's an absolute travesty, but what can I do? I'm just a bank robber, you know? I'm just a criminal. So you see what I mean, guys? We all know, but we're nobodies. None of us, even if you're not a criminal, you're not going to have a voice. You will not have a voice. You will be silenced. You will be just ridiculed and look down their nose at you. That's the way they work. They just laugh. Because this is what they've been doing for the last 60 years, guys. This is what the political class have been doing, the working class, for the last 60, 70 years. Every time we've complained about the abuse of our children, they've looked down their noses and they've laughed at us. Now, you know, this is the tip of the iceberg. We're just dipping our toe into this right now. You know, the Americans are just dipping their toe into it. Wait till they start looking into it and see how far back it goes. And how implicit the government truly were in the 60s and the 70s. And how, once again, today, like then, no justice. So, here we are. Elon Musk, Starmer, going hell for leather. Now, while that's going on, this is a wee kicker. The manuscript came out of the actual case of the Oldham grooming gangs, the court manuscript. And, you know, you got to understand, I've been doing this a long time and I've seen the ones from the past, okay? So everybody's horrified at this one. I'm not going to downplay it here, guys. You got to understand, it's me, right? The last one was a lot worse, okay? The last one was a lot more horrifying. And I've only seen a couple. This will be the third I've seen, okay? And yes, it is horrifying, but you've got to see it through the eyes of somebody who's used to seeing this, you know? So that came out and everybody was horrified all around the world. So other tidbits have been coming out. The stuff that was going about, where they told the police, I've showed you, they told the police, no, these girls were just asking for it, basically. No, along them words, don't they? It's entertainment and educational purpose only. This is my opinion and my views, okay? Come on, guys, got this dodgy bit. So, there's quite a lot of stuff popping up. Now, while this is all going on, Tommy Robson's in prison. So the man that's tried to highlight it all these years, non-stop, screaming from the rooftops, help, our children are in trouble. Please, somebody listen to me. He brought people out on the street. His organisation was infiltrated by racists and Nazis, the real far right. What did Tommy Robson do? He got his fellow men of all colours and they burnt the Nazi flag. And from that day on, Tommy Robson was a marked man by the far right. Believe you me, I know this for a fact, you know. And so further on, this is what we know. This is the facts. There's no hiding it. Tommy documented everything. Now, whether they chose not to look at the facts or whether they just didn't see the facts, I don't know. But we are in a place today where Tommy Robson has been made out to be a villain and is in prison. So, you got to understand, politicians and everybody's, like, you just don't know this, but you do not know the flack the government are getting right now, because they'll never tell you. From everywhere around the world, from politicians, from famous people, demanding the release of the journalist Stephen Laxey Lennon. This is God's honest truth, guys. And the Labour government are just like, la, 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 we can't hear you. And everybody's like scratching their heads going, what's going on here? These guys are meant to be in power. You know, this is an injustice. You know, I'm okay, maybe you didn't realise that the guy was telling the truth, or okay, maybe you didn't realise that he wasn't a racist, but, you know, it doesn't matter what the excuse is. He's not a racist, he's not far right, and all he's done is make a film telling the truth of the corruption of the British government and the judicial system. They've got judges who work for the British government, okay? So this is what's going on in all these people's heads around the world. This is what you got to understand, guys. This is what nobody's telling you. This is around the world. This is common knowledge, the support that Tommy Robson has. And the whole time, oh, hi, pal. 2 seconds, got a wee dog here. Come on, Bailey, keep moving. Hiya, pal. Come on, let's go. Whose dog? Hey, Bailey, come here. Don't know a wee dog. Hello, come on, hey, chill up. Bailey, leave. Right, I'm gonna walk away. Hello? He's here, Pod. Hey, Bailey, come on. Come on, Bailey, let's go. Bailey, behave. Bailey, be nice. Come on, we'll go down this way. Come on, I'll let you see it. Hey. Be nice, be nice. Hey, Bailey, come here. Bailey, come here. I'm going to have to cut this off, guys. Sorry about that, guys. An absolutely beautiful staffy. So, but worried straight away, like, you know what I mean? Strong, big staffy. Same as her. So it would have been difficult to separate them with Tulip jumping about the place, you know. And, but I seen her, or him, submitting. I think it was a bitch. Or could have been a dog, like. But it was submitting, it was on its back submitting every time Bailey went up to it, so I knew they wouldn't fight, you know. But the guy came with another dog, so I didn't know what the other wee dog was like, so I had 2 dogs off the lead, Tulip on the lead, he had one on the lead, so I had to put the phone down, guys, you know. So my train of thought, where were we? So I'm explaining to you about Elon Musk, and basically what's been going on. Okay, so Starmer's in a considerable amount of pressure from around the world. The Labour Party are under a considerable amount of pressure. Before all this has happened, there's a 3 million signature coming from Britain, and anybody with a bit of sense knows what that represents. If 3 million people have access to that kind of technology, you got to understand, this is technology. A lot of people don't know how to do emails and petitions and all that. They just don't know how to do it. But if people know, if 3 million people can do it, how many people can't do it that wish they could have done it? So I don't know what that figure is, so I'm not going to throw any figures out there, guys, but this is the reality of what the Labour Party know, okay? I'm telling you, through their eyes, and through the eyes of Americans, and eventually through our eyes. Well, you see through your own eyes, you know what I mean? I'm just pointing out the obvious, like. So, yeah, Tommy Robinson is causing problems for them. He is an absolute nightmare. If you can just stop for 1 minute, guys, and think about this, and believe me when I say this, there's never been a threat to any government in this country, apart from the Germans, than Tommy Robinson. And I'm saying that as the Labour Party, we know, and the Tories, these are the establishment. Now you got to understand, establishment silenced them. Every single Prime Minister bad-mouthed Tommy Robinson. Every single Prime Minister told the rest of our country, our British civilians, that Tommy Robinson was a bad man, a racist and a far-right thug. I'm going to let her off 2 seconds. So, the thing is, and this is why I always worry about him, you see, because I know all these things. I know how much they would love to get rid of Tommy Robinson. So, Tommy Robinson is causing them problems. So, and they've got, everybody's up against them. Now, listen very carefully here. Everybody's up against them. And they've got Tommy Robinson there. So they need backup. They need somebody. So we can see the usual mob, you know, you can see your Piers Morgan, your guy from Talk, anybody that you hear speaking out against Tommy Robinson while he's in prison is working for the establishment. This is the establishment, just like Kamala Harris in the Trump campaign, calling in the celebrities to help her. This is what the establishment are doing, okay? So, they need, nothing's happening, nothing's working, Labour are getting slaughtered. There's all sorts of wee bits and pieces coming out just to cement in the brickwork already done. It's like, there's nowhere they can look. Every time they open their mouths, they're lying or they're letting somebody down and somebody's bringing proof of it. You know, so what happens next? Farage appears. You form appear. Because who else could they convince the British public? Who else can they establish? Well, we've got Sky News, BBC News, we've got the Tories, we've got Labour. And I don't think it's working. I think the way we're going here, everybody's going to find out that we've been lying about Tommy Robinson. Farage, reform. And you think I'm joking, you think I'm having a laugh. I'm being deadly serious here. This is why Farage and reform have come out in the last week and done such an sustained attack on Tommy Robinson. And as that attack was going on, the establishment could see it wasn't working. So Farage came out and told the biggest lie probably ever said in politics to destroy a single person's life. That Tommy Robinson was a woman beater. Tommy Robinson had been in prison for beating women. You know, I don't know about you guys. Let's put my glove on. But pretty obvious to me now, like, who's on our side and who's on their side. And it's always at times of war or battles when your true enemies appear. And it's up to you and us to decide what we do with that information and where we go going forward. But, you know, at the end of the day, the only reason we've only got GB News asking the difficult questions is because everybody else is doing exactly what they're told by the people at the top. And until we get somebody in there that doesn't do what the people at the top want, i.e. tell the truth about Tommy Robinson, come out publicly and say, hey, you know what? He's all been lied to. Tommy Robinson is just a young man who was brought up in Luton and seen some horrific crimes over 15, 20 years ago. And he tried to warn the rest of the country. And the government have silenced him. Not only have the government silenced him, but they've almost destroyed the man's lives. God knows how much mental damage he's done. Honestly, guys, the amount of PTSD, complex PTSD this man will have through the horrific beatings he's taken in prison by multiple Muslim men, put in a cell with 4 of them. You telling me that was a mistake just by a prison officer? Or do you think there was more to that? I think you're intelligent enough to work most of it out yourselves now, guys. So, until the day comes along where we get a political party that we can use Tommy Robinson as a judge for that political party and see where they say, how they fall, and if they're going to spend all their time talking about mortgage fraud or the rape of our children. That's when we make the decision of who's going to be on whose side. That's how we know who's going to fight for us and our children. That's how the old people in this country will know as they pass away that their country's been left in good hands. Because right now, my heart breaks for these old people. So many people are passing by now because they're coming to the end of their life. And they're looking back and they're thinking, they were born and bred in such a beautiful country, such an amazing country. And they paid their taxes to build that country, and this is such an amazing country. And they give so much for that country. And as they pass, as they leave this country, they look back and they see the treacherous actions of our government giving our country and our money away to everybody but the people who were born and bred and have mothers and fathers and grandfathers who were born and bred in this country. We're at the bottom of the pecking order now in Great Britain, and you know, this is what it's all about. It's to keep it that way. This is what all the attacks on Tommy Robinson are about. This is all the silence. This was why Keir Starmer was the DPP. Everybody who had a position had a part to play. And they were all placed in there by the establishment. They're all puppets on a string. And, you know, one day, maybe not in my time, the truth will come out. If it's not too late. If they haven't already controlled. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. There's too many countries around the world now kicking back. And I think they know they're losing it. But I think Britain's one of their biggest battles, I'll tell you that now. Because they've came so far, they don't want to lose this country. You know, because this is what it's about. We're fighting for our land right now, you know. And our government are on their side, and we're fighting against our government, basically. You know, there's no two ways about it. The government has done nothing but lie and be silenced. And, you know, we know what they're scared of. You know, we know what they're scared of. We see how they behave. whenever a couple of patriots or whoever it was threatened them. You know, some random keyboard warrior has threatened them. You know what it's like? The place is full of nutcrackers, you know, and they're shouting, oh, we're getting death threats, we're under threat. Never mind the children, never mind everything that's happened on our children, never mind 250,000 children, never mind 1,400 children in one town, never mind 50 towns. It's all about them feeling a wee bit scared, and that's just a couple of disgruntled patriots. That's why our children are suffering, guys. That's the reason our children are suffering, because they're more scared of them than they are of us. If that's how they're going to behave with a couple of patriots, what would they be like if the extremism of Islam turned against them? That's their fear, guys. That's what it all boils down to. And you know what? This is the message I've got to give to our British politicians right now. These are cards. Total cards. And I can say that with certainty, because I come from a place called Belfast, Northern Ireland. You might have heard of it. A bit of a conflict going on there. People dying for the last 56 days. You don't really pay much attention to it, so you don't start. And last time you were there, you called everybody racist and brought in everybody that was from different countries into the police station, because you couldn't even leave the police station. You know what I mean? You couldn't go out and see the people out in Northern Ireland. You know, you got to go in there and hide. And you know, the thing is, you know, what you've got to understand is that these politicians in Northern Ireland all over these years have faced so much threats. The amount of threat Jerry Adams, Martin McGuinness had from us, and the amount of threat our good men like Davy Irvine and others faced from the IRA and just anybody that didn't agree with our politics, it was serious, real serious stuff. People were dying, car bombs, the lot, you know, everything. We suffered it all through the 60s, the 70s, the 80s and the 90s, you know, and all our politicians, they didn't run about with armoured cars and loads of security. They done their best, so they did, but they didn't shy away. Neither the Republicans or the Loyalists shied away in the face of so much danger, because they believed in what they were fighting for. They believed in their cause, you know. They fought for their cause. They loved their country. They loved their country, men and women, both sides. Yes, we have disagreements over a line, over a border, over a bit of grass, earth. Yeah, religion, not so much anymore. But we're still squabbling over this bit of ground. But we are going to come one day with a solution. We will ourselves, because you aren't helping us any longer. You don't seem to care about us anymore. But we will bring a solution, you know. And our borders, the Irish Sea, you know. Don't forget that. Because we remember what you've done. Even the Loyalists now have seen the true side of the British government. And that's very, very sad. And when I say the British government, I'm talking about the Tories, and I'm talking about the Labour government. I'm not talking about UKIP. UKIP have proved themselves to the 6 counties of that wee small part of Britain, that he hasn't forgot about us. They haven't forgot about us. You know, there's quite a lot, but I'm not going to go through all the names, but there's a lot of people support us. So thank yous all from both sides, no doubt. You know, because even Southern Ireland needs as much help as possible. Same situation from their own, from Sinn Féin, the Trojan horse within. And yeah, all you're doing right now is showing how coward you are, how cowardly you all are. And you know, when you run a country, just have we look at Europe. Look at some of the situations. I seen a statement from a Prime Minister. He shouldn't even be here. You know what I mean? I don't even know how he got shot in the head. He still survived. You know what I mean? No. You know, there's some real strong leaders around the world. Look at them, and then look at yourself. Because you've proven yourself to be one thing and one thing only. You're a coward. You're not the man. You're not a man. You can roll your sleeves up and you can do whatever you're told to do to come across. But you've let the British government down. You let the British government down years ago, not just being the Prime Minister. The only reason you fought for this position is to try and protect yourself from what's happened. And you're doing a good job, because you're in a really good position to protect yourself right now. But it won't be for long. This isn't going away. You can silence us all for as long as you want, but one day our politicians will come in, and we will come back, and we will be back doing exactly what we're doing now, holding you accountable. No matter where you go, there will be nowhere for you to hide. There will be nowhere for anybody that's been implicit in the rape of our children in this country. There will be nowhere for them to hide. And even though right now you are in power and you are able to take so much control, and you're changing bills and you're bringing in the Internet Act, and that you're stopping the homeschooling so we can't take our children away from your nonsense public schools where you're teaching our children just to be workers instead of leaders. You know, that's for you public school boys. That's going to change as well. You know, so yeah, the British are awakening. We are clear, we can see clearly what's going on, and not only that, the rest of the world can see what's going on. So you can fool the rest of the British public that aren't on the internet, who are still watching the BBC News, Sky News, Channel 4, and reading all your nonsense newspapers, and believing the nonsense that you're feeding them. You're only going to get away with that for so long, because every single week, more people are turning off. Every month that goes by, hundreds of people in Britain are turning off their tallies and going on the internet to get their information. No longer are we going to sit here and watch celebrities over and over again making more money off us when they're never there to help us, back us up, or protect our children. People have made millions and millions of us off all around this country. Presenters, TV presenters, footballers, pop stars. We are the ones that give you that money. We're the ones that put you where you were, most of you, you know, and you have not one of you are speaking out, maybe one or two, but you are all Gary Linekers. You like to talk about illegal immigration, but you won't have them in your areas. You put them in our areas, and that's where the crime rates goes up. The acid attacks, the knife crimes. It's horrendous. You know, you're private. We're NHS. It's horrendous. You have private mental health for your kids. We've got to wait years. Our children have got to wait years to get on the mental health, to see a mental health team. Yeah. All these things we won't forget, you know. I'm sorry this has turned into a wee bit of a moan, guys, you know. But I'm upset, and it's difficult whenever I start saying, we start laying this down, as in A, B, C, D, E, F. It is almost like, it is complex, if you know what I mean. It does build up as you're talking about it, and you do get more frustration, and frustrating. Sorry for the camera being so close. I am noticing on the TV that I'm right up like that, and I am really, really sorry. Yeah, so we're now at a spot now. This is where we are at now. So we've went through the Elon Musk, we've went through the Tommy Rums, we went through the attacks on Nigel Farage, and we're still here. Okay, we're still here. But what's going to come next? What's going to come next? There's going to be an all-out attack on our free speech. That's what they're going to. That's the only thing they can do is silence us, right? But there's other ways we can get around that, and I think our friends around the world will speak even louder for us, and there won't be anywhere for them to hide shortly. There won't be anywhere where we'll get the message out to our own British people one way or the other. The ones that are still watching the BBC News, Sky News, we will address them. We will go out onto the streets in the city centres and specifically ask to speak to people that are still watching these. Are you on the internet? Do you watch Sky News and BBC News? Can I show you some facts on what's the truth of what's going on in this country compared to what you're being fed? There's so many examples. We can bring up Iraq, we can bring up Ukraine, we can bring up the Trump presidency. There's so many lies being fed by this establishment, cabal, leaders of the world that want to, for some reason, play monopoly with our countries. You know, because that's a game to them, you know, they don't care. Oh, you know, let's take Britain and flip it upside down and see how far we can push the people. Oh wow, before they're like, we didn't know we could get this far. Oh, we better use this starmer. Yeah, just beat them with buttons, arrest everybody, shut everybody down social media. You know, you can see where it's going, guys. Yeah, but like I say, they might be able to censor us, but they can't censor the rest of the world. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to go on and on. As a wee walk and talk, like I say. And I will do one just for my followers. Like, it's hard because I am just talking to my followers, you know what I mean? This is me talking to my followers, but I am talking in general. Like, when I'm saying Starmer, I don't mean to do that. I shouldn't really do. I'm going to stop doing that because I'm not here to talk to him. And that's the God's honest truth. I'm really disappointed in myself, and I'm just getting caught up in it, guys. That's all it is. I'm getting caught up more emotionally, and I keep going on about it. And I'm going to say this again. I'm going to keep on, and I want to say before I do say this, please do not feel sorry for me. I'm in a really good place right now. Happiest I've ever been. Got a wee baby girl and all the rest of it. I'm truly happy, guys, but I've always been happy. This is the thing. I've always managed to wake up happy in the mornings, no matter what. Okay, some situations have been pretty shitty, so I do this for my daughter. I've just got an 8-week-old daughter. And the thing is I've been here before, back in the children's homes in the 60s, not in the 70s, I'm not that old, but in the 70s going into the 80s, where there was crimes against children from Kerr, all over England and Northern Ireland and Scotland, then they were being abused by people at the top in Parliament and in all sorts of Home Office, police, judges, lawyers. That's, MI5, MI6, they know all about it, and obviously because they're so high up, they got protected. Some are dead, some are still alive, some are still in the House of Lords. But the thing is, the people that are there now are protecting them because they know, fine, I'm just a guy here in a field with 2 dogs that telling you this. So they know more details than I do. They know the facts. And the reason why we are always in this situation is because the bad people always make sure they could be bad people and they take over, because they've always got to protect each other. And the way they get them, they make them bad. If they aren't bad, they make them bad. They tempt them, just like Diddy does. That's the kind of thing that goes on. Once they've got them like that, they've got them. They're theirs, right? And then they do their bidding. They make sure they protect them. It means they can go through their life scot-free and with no threat of being caught. So this is what we've been dealing with for a long time, And then we have the influx of immigration, and as Starmer says, Asian. I don't agree with it, I don't think he should be labelling them all Asian. It was predominantly Pakistani, man, and there was an all-out attack on all our children, like thousands upon thousands upon thousands, tens and tens and tens, if not hundreds of thousands of children, boys and girls. And we've got to emphasise, nobody talks about the boys. How many boys do you think have came and went to the police? Come here, chill up, this way. Think about that, guys. We always go on about the girls, and no disrespect, you know what I mean, guys. But you never think about the boys. One of my followers brought that up. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I can't remember your name. I should have wrote it down. Thank you for mentioning that. And it's a good point. What's happened to all the boys? Where are the boys? Because we know the history of. We've seen. Let's be honest, we know Afghanistan, Pakistani, we've seen the documentaries, we see how they do like boys, right? There is, just like this country, we have men that like boys. It's the same as over there. So if you're going to get a group of men who are going to abuse children, they're not just going to go for girls, there's boys there as well. So I don't understand, where's all the boys? You know what I mean? Why are we only talking about girls? Why was the documentary made years and years just 3 girls? I'm not going to accept that it was just girls. I'm not accepting that, guys. I'm sorry. But see, I've lost my train of thought, but I feel like what I'm trying to say is I feel that I can talk about this. I'm allowed to have an opinion because I am a victim of childhood abuse in children's homes while Labour Party were in charge, because there was nothing put in place for anybody to. There was nowhere for me to complain. I felt nobody would have believed me. There was no caution put. They put me in a really bad situation without any care. I wasn't going to school because I happened to keep one eye open, and they didn't even question it. If they had just said to me, why are you not going to school? Why are you not doing your homework? I wasn't going to school because I wasn't doing my homework, and I was getting caned for not doing my homework. I wasn't doing my homework because I was up all night, and I was tired and all the rest of it, you know what I mean? But there was nothing there to help our kids. And then we knew of what was going on back then, guys. We knew the politicians were abusing our children. We were singing about them at the football matches. We were singing songs about politicians at the football matches because that was our social media. And nothing was ever done about it. You understand? And now again, and 40 years later, 50 years later, I'm witnessing the same children, working class girls from Kerr. You're hearing it. I've been saying it for months, but we're now actually getting evidence. There was a girl on GB News. She went through Kerr. She was a warder court, just like me. Most of these girls will be from Kerr homes, guys, just like back then. And I keep saying this. The fucking victims are the same children. That's the fucking men are different. And this is why they're being protected. They're being protected by the same men who are protecting the men who done it to our children in the 60s and 70s. The only reason it stopped is because Maggie Thatcher came to power. I swear to God. because she was a woman. They all shot themselves and went into hiding and put it all under. But they were all implicit. It was a common thing amongst public schoolboys. This was the thing that they done. This was common practice back in them days with these type of posh snobs at the top, because they had so much money, they had everything they wanted, so they went into the extremes of depreciation, you know what I'm talking about, demon shit, devil stuff, you know what I mean, just evil men that just didn't know what else to be doing and wanted to push a boat. Fucking climbing the Alps wasn't enough, you know what I mean? Fuck's sake. But that's the truth. That's what I know. That's my opinion, you know, and that's what the government know. That's what MI5 know. That's what everybody knows that knows anything, guys, you know what I mean? And that's why I'm here shouting about reform, Nigel Farage, and this is why it's very important we get the right people in. A lot of people just think I'm hating on certain people. I'm not hating on certain people. I know who we need to get in. We need to get somebody in that's not going to protect the men from the past. You understand? If whoever there at the top, the establishment, are okay with, and they're promoting them, you get me? Then they're not. They're not for us, guys. You know what I mean? Nigel Farage is a banker, a millionaire. You know, anybody with money can be. Believe me, I'm not saying for 1 minute they've got anything over Nigel, but when it comes to money, these men, you do not mess with these guys' money. And I do believe whenever he had an attack on his bank, it was a shot over his bows, you know, to keep him in line, to remind him who was in charge. And one day it will all come out, and one day maybe, you know, if my videos, with the banks that I have, the memory banks with my videos do pop up one day, I do believe these words will come to fruition, and you know, people will be shocked, because it won't be till most of these people are dead and buried, long dead and buried, before we're really going to find out the truth. It might even be after Starmer gets dead and buried before we find out the truth, in maybe 100 years time, who knows? I don't know how long it'll take before the truth comes out, but the truth is horrifying. It is absolutely horrifying, guys, and this is why we're going through what we're going through. Cheer up, this way, come on. Listen, I'm going to go, because Chip's choked me, get down to the burn for a drink, I think. But no, guys, this is why we are where we are today. You know, it's all pretty simple stuff. It's all, if you know, you know. You know what I mean? If you don't know, and you'd be a bit confused, why is this going on? Why are they doing this with Tommy? Why have we got all these headers in power? Why is it always the same sort of people? Well, you know. You know, listen, all my love, if you like my stuff, give us a wee like. If you want to see more of my stuff, give me a subscribe. YouTube, you know, you've got to help me out this bit, like, because of what I say and how I say it, YouTube don't like it. Most people, they can keep in line by saying we're not going to monetize you. They can't do that with me, so what they do is they don't put it out. Now, I've tested it with other people that when you put in Freedom Dad and all, it's really hard to find. You've got to really put in Freedom Dad and the name of a video and all that sometimes. You know, like sometimes you put a couple of letters in of somebody's name and it pops up. Well, cheer up, this way. It's different. I'm not getting this stuff, you know, that's their way, you know what I mean, of keeping from my voice getting heard, you know. So I need you to help me do that by just checking your subscriptions every now and again, making sure YouTube have still got you subscribed, and if you're not subscribed, give us a wee subscribe. The only way I ask you is to help me, really, guys, you know, apart from the buy me a coffee for Katie, and that's in my bio. Listen, all my love, guys, and God bless every single one of you.